guys, welcome back. So today we are going to do a whole eyeshadow palette collection kind of thing. So we're going to go through every single eyeshadow palette that we own and show you guys. So yeah, we'll do a makeup inventory at the beginning of next year because with Christmas we're going to have more palettes, but I can't spoil what those are quite yet. Yeah, we figured this would be a good enough finale to close our 25 Days of Eyeshadow series. I can't believe we actually friggin' did it. Like, are you kidding? Because we didn't pre-film for anything. Are you kidding me? Look at this go. Yeah, so if you're interested to see what all we own, then just keep on watching. So, we're starting out with our little small palettes. So these are the Kaleidos small palettes. So, we have Electro Turquoise. We've talked your ear off about these because they were kind enough to send them to us and we love them. Truly. So we've got Electro Turquoise here. This is Lunar Lavender. Our fave, Sashimi City. Sashimi. 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 That's what I say. No, you say sashimi. Sashimi. It sounds the same to me. And this one's Astro Pink. So we have all of those. They are lovely and incredible in each way. I highly recommend them. I would like to do more like tutorials and stuff with them at some point. I would love to pick up the remainder of these palettes too. Yeah, we probably should have done that on Black Friday, but we have lots of eyeshadows also. Yeah. Oh, and I want to mention we do have some new stuff here that you guys haven't seen before. Kayla Marie, one of our friends from Instagram, actually came over the other night and we did like our own little Christmas thing. So we have some new palettes from her, FYI. Let's go with Kaja Stacks. So this is chocolate, whoa. This one is Chocolate Dahlia, so it has, Raisin, please. Raisin's not doing anything. It's in my way. So it has just like a light shimmer and then a couple of matte browns in the bottom here. This one was sent to us in PR, FYI. This one is a pretty good one, not my favorite out of all of them. Then we have Orange Blossom. This is probably my least favorite out of all of them. They're really cool. It's like a peachy orange tone. We just don't wear them very often. We just don't wear them very often. So I love the stack format, except I can never friggin' open the bottom one. It always takes me like, and the bottom shade is my favorite. I love this bottom shade. It's so pretty. And then my absolute favorite, you guys know, this is the Rose Water stack. So you have the Icy Pink, the mid-tone kind of mauve shade. Oh, this thing is beat to hell. Oh yeah. And this deeper kind of berry tone. And then this one is new. This one Kayla got for us. This is the Sparkling Rosé one. This is the one we wanted. This is like the brighter one. I haven't used this yet, so I can't attest to how they are, but you have this top shade. All of these are more like mid to deeper tones, so there's no like icy shimmers in this stack specifically, but they are very gorgeous, like berry tones, so love that. Then we have all of our e.l.f. bite-sized palettes, some of our least used palettes I'd say in our collection, but I like to have them for reference, and if I'm ever like feeling I dip into them every once in a while just for a couple random shades, but they aren't like staples by any means. Yeah, so this one's the Acai You. It's the little blue one. I'd like to use this one actually soon because I very much love blues. This one is Cream and Sugar, neutral, boring, but very easy to use, and it is very pretty. It is very pretty. I don't want to think it is, but it is. Pretty in a natural girls kind of way, you know? This one is the Rose Water, similar to the Kaja Rose Water stack. It's just a bunch of rosy tones. These ones lean a little bit cooler than I'd say the Kaja stack does, but they're actually unique to our collection. So this is like our most used. That and the Kaja stack pair so well together. This one is Carnival Candy. It's got a pop of blue in here, so we keep this around mainly for this matte brown here. It's a dupe for Kiki from the original Eyeshadow palette. That was my favorite shade. Love it. Truffles. This one is Truffles. It actually came shattered when I ordered it in the mail, and I was so excited because I wanted like a neutral to cool tone kind of little bite-sized, and I have not once used it. I used it. It's very nice. Those are definitely my kind of neutral tones. Yeah, but these are just super easy, super cheap, super simple, so there's really no reason for me to declutter them because they're so tiny and we use them every so often. And these are the Nabla Glitter Lights palettes. So these aren't eyeshadows, but they are glitter eyeshadows. So this one is the Ruby Lights. This is the deeper of the two with the more neutral tones. I like this one, but not nearly as much as the Miami Lights. This thing is so beautiful. I love these. I think this is the best pressed glitter formula I've ever tried. I don't know if they're technically eye safe. At this point, I don't really care. So if you are weird about glitters, then don't buy them. That's what I'll say on that. And then another palette from Nabla. This is the Wildberry Cutie palette. This one is super cute. The Cutie palette is like a perfect name for these. I love the tones in here also.
I would like to get a couple more of those because I do really like that one.
Like, if you can't tell, I'm like a sucker for berry tones. All of the things I talk about are just berry toned.
This is the Becca Pearl Glow Shimmering Eye Palette. We've talked about this quite a few times. It's not something we use a ton, but these are very, very pretty topper shades in here. I wouldn't dip into this for a full look personally. You can, but I just wouldn't because I need something a little bit more fun. But a couple of these like middle dome shades are very similar to like the Pat McGrath like Astro whatever formula, like the very intense
like the glittery formula.
Glittery shade. And we got this at TJ Maxx for cheap, so well worth it if we can get anything similar to Pat McGrath. Have Pure and Robbie Christie. This is one of the most exciting launches of the year in my opinion. I was so hyped to get this. I love the colorful side. The matte blue I hit pan on within 6 uses. And then it shattered. And then I shattered it, so it's very low down. I could definitely pan that out this year if I wanted to. And then you have the neutral side, which I think is just perfect for fall. Like these tones are perfect for fall. I don't wear neutrals very often, but I do notice that when I want neutrals, like these are really good grungy tones.
This one, yeah.
This is the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Foil Freestyle Highlighter Palette. So I don't know if this technically falls under eyeshadow, but that's how I typically use it. I've used the oranges as blush toppers before, but this is really, really pretty, and it's been on sale for ages. I'm shocked at how little people actually bought this, probably because it's an all shimmer palette and people are lame. But then when I talked about it on Twitter, getting it and loving it, everybody's like, oh yeah, it's one of my favorites ever. I'm like, then why didn't you mention it?
Why didn't you ever tell me?
But this is really nice, and if you can get it for cheap, I got it for what? $10, $12, like it's super, super cheap. So if you can get it for cheap, I would recommend it because there's really no reason to pay full price when you can get it on sale.
I probably wouldn't pay full price for it.
Yeah.
But on sale, it is a really nice product.
Miscellaneous items. This one you've heard about a million times. This is the Natasha Denona Cranberry Palette. One of our faves. What can I say? I love these berry tones. It's beautiful. Then this is newer. This is the Dose of Colors Smoky Soiree palette. I freaking love this.
This is stunning.
I freaking love this. This is probably the best small neutral palette I have tried in a long time. I just think there's something so special about this formula, especially the shimmers. The mattes are awesome too, especially for someone like me who loves like that smoky, rich outer corner. This really does it for me. You don't even have to dip into the black to get the depth. Like,
no,
it's there.
So good.
And this one is new. I'm so excited about this. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk palette of Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Palette of Pops Quad. That's what this is. This is that item. This is freaking stunning. I wasn't sure. I was not going to spend the money on something like this just because I've never tried Charlotte Tilbury's formula, and for a quad that's damn near $60, I just wasn't comfortable spending that. Well, Kayla was, like the angel she is, and I freaking love this formula. It's so beautiful on the eyes. I'll insert pictures of a close-up I took recently. It's just so effortlessly gorgeous. It's kind of like, they're all like topper shades almost, except the deepest color. That one has a little more opacity, but they're similar to like Just a Kiss from the Dose of Colors Desi Katie palette. That kind of formula where they're like that sheer toppery kind of shadow. They're kind of dry feeling, and this is not as heavy as I wanted it to be, but I'm really happy we got it. Similarly, a very expensive quad. I also have one coming in the mail from Pat McGrath. This is our Pat McGrath
Nocturnal.
I wanted to call it Celestial Divinity. Nocturnal Nirvana palette. This is fantastic. I love the blue in here. I don't give a shit about the yellow gold, but the rest of it is lovely. We've talked about this a million times. I love the packaging on these. It's very, very luxe. I love the mirror takes up the whole thing. This is just such a well put together kind of quad, and so I ordered the blue one from this year's collection on Sephora the other day because I just really wanted it, and I knew that Vic didn't get it for me for Christmas, and I knew Kayla didn't get it because I was waiting to see if she would, but I knew she didn't because she told me, you guys kept talking about thinking you were going to get it, so I didn't want to buy it, and then you guys have bought it, so I finally caved and bought it yesterday, so it'll be here tomorrow. This is the, Spritz Edit? Yep. This is the Viseart Spritz Edit palette. Adorable. I love how small these are. The size of these is just adorable to me. The fact that they would be so easy to travel with.
The packaging is kind of cheapy, but I think that's the point because you can pop them out. Yeah, they're meant for, it's like a makeup artistry brand, so it's meant to be able to take them out and customize them and all of that, kind of like Natasha Denona, but her packaging is a little bit more luxe. But I don't mind the fact that this isn't heavy, even though it's expensive, because I still think it's a very well put together kind of palette. Like, if you chucked it, I don't think this would break. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think...
Want to test it?
No. I don't think it's going to be... It's not too flimsy, you know what I mean? I don't think it's just going to break if you drop it. But I love the quality of Viseart shadows, and this is a really cute spring palette. It's not my most used palette, but I do love it, especially for the size. This is the ColourPop Smoke Show palette. It is now renamed the Blowing Smoke palette. Not my favorite. I don't really dip into grays and blacks almost ever, or silvers. Just not my colors. I like cool tone neutrals, not cool tones. For the most part, I'll do them every so often, and I can incorporate this in a neutral look, but I won't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to do that. But this overall, it's decent quality for ColourPop, and I don't mind that we have it, but I wouldn't have purchased it. I like it. And last of our smaller palettes, this is just a little custom palette that I made for fall. I think I've used it once. But these like smaller pans right here are all ColourPop. This one's from the BH Cosmetics Desert Oasis palette. And these two are from the BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette. I think this one's from the Love Signs and this one's from the original. And then this one is from Dominique Cosmetics, so that's that little guy. And then for our video, when we were talking about our favorite shadows from Clionadh, we put them in this little palette and we haven't taken them back out. And honestly, because they're our favorite shades, I find it really convenient to have them all popped in here. I reach into this little thing all the time. You guys know these are the best things ever, so I'm not gonna harp on that for too long. Okay, so if you guys have been here a minute, you guys know that for the entirety of since this launched, I've wanted the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette so badly, so badly, and I keep holding off because I'm like, you know, I don't really know if I'm gonna love that formula, and I don't know if the shadows are gonna be toppery enough for me. Like, I just don't know. Well, Kayla got it for me, and let me tell you, god fucking damn it, this is so good. Oh my god, this is incredible. Incredible. Huda Beauty's Macs always look a little bit less depthy in the pan than they do on the eyes. I don't know why that is, but some shadows are just like that, and hers are, so it's a little bit more depth heavy than it looks in here, but it definitely doesn't have like a ton of like rich mattes, you know? But these shades right up here, the ones that I wanted the whole palette for, oh my god, they are like,
they look wet.
This nebula shade, this like bluey kind of purple, what do you call it? Gray, yeah. Like indigo-ish. That shade is like so good.
Probably the prettiest thing I've ever seen her put on her eyes.
Oh my god, it's very like indie brand-esque kind of single shadows, you know what I mean? Like super glittery, super pretty, super avant-garde-y. Oh my god, it's stunning. I used it yesterday. I don't think I have any good pictures. If I'll do, I'll put one in, but I was having a day, so. But you guys are gonna see me love on this because I'm wearing it today as well, actually. I don't know why I didn't say that. Just not that shade. This is the Milani Gilded Coast palette. Vic likes it. I've never used it, and I probably never will. I just don't care about it. I don't like anything about it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So, Vic really likes it, but it's not something I'm ever going to be like, oh, Milani Gilded Coast, let me grab that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I probably should for the dark blue, but I just haven't, probably won't. This is our Dose of Colors Friendcation. Debating decluttering this, we don't quite know. I love this palette. We always have loved this palette. It's definitely beaten up. There's many pans.
It just hasn't been used in so long.
But yeah, we have to force ourselves to use this, and the reason we want to keep it is the stamp packaging. This packaging is stunning.
And the shade Just a Kiss.
And Just a Kiss. We can depot Just a Kiss, but honestly, we have so many better topper shadows at this point that I don't even know if that's necessary, and if we depot it, will we even use it? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I do love this palette. I think if you're someone that's not super into colorful makeup, this would be a good kind of like step in that direction.
It's not even available anymore.
It's not? Oh, I thought they still had it available for some reason.
Not on their site anyway. You can probably get it on like Poshmark or something.
I thought they still had it on Ulta, but they may have like just removed it recently. But I love this palette. It's a good palette. I just think it's outlived its time for us. You know what I mean? Light of my life, fire in my loins. Certified Affinity 2. This is a blue and green lover's dream, and guess who I am? A blue and green lover. I am a blue and green lover. I've used this a couple times recently, and I hadn't picked it up for a long time actually before that. And it just reminds me of how much I like this palette. It's so good. The formula is really, really nice. I love the shimmers in here, but I love the choice of mattes. Like the greens are like, there's just so many different variations of the color green in here, and same with the blue, that it's just like, whatever kind of green or blue you're going for, you can really find it in here, you know? So I just love this. I think it's really high quality, and I would love to buy more of their palettes if they weren't all rainbow. So I have a few e.l.f. palettes here. This first one is the J. Kissa To The Rescue palette, which is no longer available, which is a shame because I just started liking this just recently. Not all the way, but I do really like the blues and the greens in here, and I love the shimmers. I have liked the shimmers since day one. This seems like one of those that if we could depot it, I don't know if it's possible, but that would make a lot of sense for us. Yeah, I wish it was just like that. I wish that was the entire palette, because those are the shades I like the most. But yeah, we might look into depotting this. I just don't want to break anything, you know? But you know, every time we break something, I live without it, so yeah, not a big deal. Next is the Earth and Ocean palette, a really gorgeous one if you hate opening things. If you like earth tones and ocean tones, I hate you. Ocean tones. Ocean tones. Sound like Robin Scherbatsky. And this is the At For A Sight palette with Christy and ColourPop. I really like this one. I don't love the shimmers in here only because I hate the colors that they are. But the mattes are really pretty. One of the best ColourPop palettes I've tried in a while. This is the Urban Decay Born to Run palette, our favorite neutral palette on the market. I'm convinced it's one of the best. It has a bunch of crease shimmers. You guys know we talk about this all the time. I do have a video using shimmers in the crease with this if you're interested. I will link that in the cards. And then this is the Midas Cosmetics and Smoky Glow palette, which we did get in PR. We have the PR box hanging right here. The shade Leno shattered during transit, and I tried to repress it, and then things didn't go well, and now it's just kind of there. There's a little bit in the pan. This is a really beautiful palette. Mattes aren't my favorite, but the shimmers are divine. Alright, speaking of the best neutral palettes, this is the ABH and Jackie Aina palette. The more that I dip into this, like as of recently, the more I really do want to buy a backup. I just really appreciate how beautiful it is. I kind of just want a fresh one to look at again. Oh god, this is such a stunning palette. There is quite literally nothing like this that I've tried on the market. I find it's very, very unique in terms of color story, and the formula is phenomenal. I don't support ABH, but I do support Jackie, and I have no problem supporting ABH if that means supporting Jackie, you know what I mean? But I just think everything about this is stunning. The packaging is so Jackie. This is probably the best influencer collab of ever. It's so good, and it works on all skin tones, which was the goal, and I love it. And this is the Oma Beauty Black Magic Carnival palette. I still need to use this a little bit more. I just haven't quite found a day that I want to use these shimmers. Like, these shimmers are more fall tones for me, so I probably won't want to use this palette for a minute, but the mattes are really pretty, so maybe I can dip into it for yeah, none of those tones are what I use. But I do really like the formula of this. The shimmers are very, very pretty. They're almost like glitters, like very finely milled glitters. Yeah. So they're not quite like the Nabla palettes, but they've got a ton of glitter in these shadows. Overall, I think that maybe the other one would have been a better buy for me color story wise, but I do like this and I don't regret purchasing it as of yet. I just need to use it more. I have to force myself. And this is our Profusion Wanderlust palette. Still one of my favorite drugstore palettes that we have. Sometimes I debate decluttering it just because we don't use it very often, but I do really like to have it for reference in videos and for randomly when I'm like, oh, I really want that green from the Profusion palette. Like, that's almost always how it goes. I'm like, oh, that green. I really want that green. It's always the green because I love greens and blues. But this is just such a high quality formula for, what, 10 bucks. This is phenomenal. I love it. We've talked about it multiple times. I'm going to hold this gently. This is our pink and purple palette that we created with depotted palettes. So there's some ABH in here. Stunning Cosmetics, some Morphe. It's a really good overall palette for me. This is very much my style of palette. I have a tutorial with this, I'll link above. I just love pinks and purples, you guys know. And this is the Kaleidos Escape Pod palette. Funny enough, this is my least favorite. This one was sent to us in PR, and that was what we wanted the most. I was gonna buy this, and I just didn't, and they sent it to us, and I still love it. Like, I love the shimmers in here, and most of the mattes are pretty good, but Something about this color story, now that I have it, I don't want to use it very often. Like the mattes just don't. There's something about them that just does not call to me as much. And I think it's all attributed to this bottom row here. Because if I look at it like that, I love it. But when I look at it like that, I love it less, you know? Still a really good one. I would recommend it. Just keep in mind the blue is bullcrap. Don't touch the blue. It's horrifying. Not even workable in any way. No. VH Blueberry Moving Palette. I know, it's good. Jesus. It's really good. It's really good. Jeez. I really like it. And I used it the other day and I felt beautiful. And then I'm wearing this one today. This is new to me. This one Kayla also got for us. We went really ham on Christmas. This is the Violet Voss Sakura? I think that's not it. Really? Sakura? I don't know. This palette. Let me Google Translate it. Yeah.
Sakura.
Oh shit, you're right. I knew that is a name on Naruto. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Sakura palette. This is really, really pretty. The shimmers in here are really like squishy feeling.
Creamy?
No, like squishy, like ColourPop Super Soft feeling almost. They're kind of wet feeling. I still think this palette lacks depth, but I'm very happy to have it. I love this hot pink shade, Petals. Petals! I love that name! Gently. Here's another kind of, I don't even know if I'm, okay, that one's not in there. Custom palette from 88. Most of these are 88 shadows with a couple scragglers in here. Yes, the scragglers aren't necessarily in there. They're just sitting on there for a holding cell, so I can't really just like, hey, look at this, because that BH shadow gonna shatter. Been through it one too many times this week. This is the Makeup Revolution and Patricia Bright eyeshadow palette. I got it early this year, I think, and I've really, really enjoyed it. I would highly recommend it. We talked about it in our favorite affordable eyeshadow palettes video, and I love that you can do this with it. It bends all the way back.
Hold that mirror.
Oh. And this is the Makeup Revolution and Tammy palette. I bought this because I like the Patricia Bright palette so much. The mattes in here are really, really good. The shimmers suck. I would literally never touch those. I won't touch the pressed glitters either. I don't think this was the best purchase for me. I think that I'll probably end up decluttering it this year if I don't use the mattes more. But I don't typically think like, oh, that brown. Let me grab that brown. Before we were so rudely interrupted by the camera. It's colorful mostly because of the shimmers and this row of mattes here, but most of the other mattes are fairly neutral. They do have a lot of pretty like jewel tones in here, so I might actually try and depot this to make like a custom palette with it or something. But I do like this palette. The shimmers just crease really, really bad on me, so if you don't have issues with creasing, you might like this, but I do. And these aren't really foiled metallics, they're just like barely there, you know, they're like cute or whatever, but e.l.f. does better metallics, you know what I mean? So I like this, but I don't love it, but I'm glad I got all the points from it, so it was worth it. Okay, so this is the Pat McGrath Divine Rose 2 palette. This is a really cute palette. The yellow gold I don't really love, but it's more lemony, so you know, we like that. We do have a 2 looks 1 palette with this. I do like this palette a lot. I don't regret buying it by any means, but it's not my favorite Pat McGrath palette at all. It looks a little more exciting online, I think.
I think the hot pink is more exciting online.
Yeah, the hot pink is definitely more exciting online. I still really love this, and I think the shimmers are stunning, but every time I throw yellow gold in there, it throws me off, and she does that in every fucking palette.
I have to talk with Patty what this is.
This is the Pat McGrath Midnight Sun palette. Aside from yellow gold, this is magic in a palette. This is one of the very few luxury palettes that I do feel is 100% worth the price. The special shades are so special, they just feel like they're probably like $45 a piece to make. I know they're probably like 20 cents instead of 10, but you know, they seem very high quality, and the packaging alone makes me know that it's probably a little bit more expensive to make these in general, so they probably do have to mark it up more for a profit. But I love Pat McGrath palettes, and this one is phenomenal. We have multiple tutorials up with this, I believe. And this is our first Pat McGrath palette, the Pat McGrath Bronze Seduction palette. This is the very, like, the most basic kind of Pat McGrath palette in my opinion.
But it is so beautiful.
But it's so pretty. There's a reason that a lot of people buy it, and it's because it's stunning. The special shades in here are some of my favorite that she has to offer in terms of colors, other than the red. The red's cute and all, but the red's just as good in the Jackie Aina palette, and it's not $125. So if you're buying it for the red, I wouldn't do that. But the rest of it is so good. We've talked about these plenty, and we will continue to. And we will probably buy more. God, I'm terrified to see what she releases this year. So now I'm going to go through all of our like smaller Natasha Denona palettes. So this one's not small, but it's smaller. This is the Metropolis palette rearranged. I love this palette. I don't really know what to say. I love the creamy powder formula, and this one is friggin' full of them. And this is the Love palette. This one I like to look at more than I like to wear, but I still think it's very beautiful regardless.
If you like pinks and purples, it'd be a good purchase for you.
See, that's what I thought, but I still never wear it. This is the Sunrise palette. This is such a stunner.
It's a staple summer palette.
It really is. It's so beautiful, especially the shade Carmelin right here. Somehow this mustardy orange yellow is so unique to our collection. It's friggin' stunning. This is the Glam palette. This is the cool toned ashy shit show that I love. With terrible shade names.
We have reviews on almost all of these, FYI.
Yeah, pretty much all of them. I can't link them all, but you can search. And this is the Bronze palette. This is just, I think this is my favorite of her mini palettes. Whenever I wear this, I feel like the baddest bitch on the planet.
It's damn nice. Okay, we'll go through the rest of our Natasha palettes because we have a few of them. We have what? 13?
We do have a ranking video up that I'll link.
Yeah. This is the Natasha Denona Gold palette. Spoiler, it's our favorite of the Natasha palettes. There's literally nothing wrong with this. It's unbeatable. I think one of these mattes might be wrong, and I think it belongs to the Safari, but I use it for the shimmers. So this is so stunning. You have talked your ear off to hell and back with this. I love it. This is the Lila palette, probably the worst of the Natasha Denona palettes in my opinion.
It's been discontinued and it will likely be decluttered. Oh, there goes the brown.
Awesome. Awesome. I love brown on my jeans. This one's abused, not because we used it,
but because
I
tried so hard to love it. And I've finally come to terms with the fact that I don't.
Yeah.
Then we have the Safari palette, missing a shade, because you guys know we lose shit. I do like this one. Very nice. This one is still available. The Tropic palette, also missing a shade. Not available, but the mini is available, which is pretty much this entire last row, I believe.
So I recommend that over the full size anyway.
Oh, for sure. This is the Purple Blue palette. I thought it was the Blurple, but it's the Purple Blue, so it's the Pur Blue. I really, really love this one. This is probably my new fave Natasha palette. It's very nice. And this is the Green Brown palette. There are a couple mattes in here that don't belong, and this is all out of order, but ooh, I love this one. I don't use it often, ever, but the metallics in here are just stunning.
So pretty. I have two Viseart palettes for you here. This is the Grand Pro Volume 2. This is the All Shimmer. These are always limited edition on holiday. I believe they're still available on Beauty Bay.
I saw the matte one available. I don't know about the shimmer one.
Okay, so the matte one should be available on Beauty Bay still if you had your eye on it. This is really, really nice. I don't regret having it in our collection. Vic did buy it after I bought the Volume 3 because it was so stunning. It's not my favorite shimmer formula ever, but there's a nice variation of lots of tones and lots of fun in here and different textures and stuff, so it's nice to play around with this, and I love using it in conjunction with the Volume 3. This is a dream. This is a colorful lover's dream. It is a perfect rainbow. It's missing purple, but I don't give a shit because I don't like purple like that. So this is my favorite formula of all time. Even if it was just this side, I would buy that again because I love
if they came out with a palette that was just that second half, I can guarantee you would buy it without thinking.
Oh yeah, 100%.
These are we already own it.
This is like one of my favorite formulas of all time. It's so good.
The palette that houses the remainder of our Cleona shadows, we did place an order with them, so we will be showing you those when they come in the mail. I'm interested to see how this order process goes. But yeah, this is the rest of them without all of our little custom 10 palette.
Palettes. So this is the Be Perfect Carnival XL Pro. We did tan the normal Carnival palette, which was our favorite. Obviously, we panned it. This is a fantastic palette. Be Perfect shadows perform beautifully. They are a little bit marked up in price for the US, in my opinion, just because shipping is a little bit more expensive, but well worth the money, in my opinion, as well. And they're not as high priced as like a Natasha Denona or something, because I wouldn't buy them for a Natasha Denona price.
This is the Carnival Tahiti, which launched this year. When they showed the promo for pictures for this, I think I like fainted. I was so excited to get this. It is so stunning. Definitely not as heavy on the tones that I prefer, but they are a lot of fun. Like these peachy tones in here are really bright, and then the oranges are really bright. They've got some gorgeous, gorgeous pinks and purples in here. And then the freaking greens. This is phenomenal. This is my favorite next to the first Be Perfect Carnival palette. I like this one more than the XL Pro formula-wise. It's a little bit different, but overall, I love both of these. I wouldn't declutter them for anything. Whew. That rounds out all of our eyeshadow palettes before Christmas. And this will be going live on Christmas Day, so we will have some videos.
We'll update you.
Yeah, with updates and stuff, and we'll probably do a couple reviews on new items we got, not just eyeshadow, because we'll be out of 25 days of eyeshadow. It's going to be hard to get out of that habit. Like, oh, I can film a base routine today. No, you can't. Yes, I can. Like,
you probably will stay tuned for a declutter as well, because we need to get some things out of here. Blushes. Probably some cutthroat stuff. Yeah, we're going to do some in-depth declutters as far as like blushes and stuff go, because we realized our blush collection is just way out of hand.
Especially after Kiki sent us
way out of hand. We have so many freaking blushes.
Also, I did want to mention just while we're here, Kayla did get me 2 of the Rare Beauty blushes, the hot pink one and Happy. And I'm wearing Happy today. She's wearing the hot pink. I wore the hot pink yesterday. Wow.
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 These are phenomenal. I think once we do our declutter, I will probably buy a lot of these because I don't need powder blushes if I can get a cream this pigmented.
Yeah, exactly. I love a good pigmented hot pink cheek, and look at that. It's just
gorgeous.
Stellar. And this was like 1 dot. Not like a small dot, granted. It was 1 large doe foot dot, like so. On each cheek.
But these are good. These are real good. I know people have a lot of issues with them just based on like reviews. People either love them or hate them because of the pigment, but I am on the side of loving and probably going to declutter a lot of our blushes since we've got our Sheer Salt New York ones and our nude sticks and our Shot Miss A and stuff. I don't need a fucking powder blush if I can get pigment in a cream.
Nope.
No ma'am. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking with us. With us through our 25 days of eyeshadow. I am very proud that we succeeded. I have a couple videos to edit today, so I'm going to edit those so we don't make this video and then we find out we didn't succeed because I didn't edit in time. But we are so close to the finish line and I'm so proud. So this means we can probably start pulling out 4 videos a week. No fucking problem, because we just pulled out 25 in a row, bitch.
Mic drop.
Anyway, thanks for watching. We hope to see you in the next one. Bye.
Got
one more. This is our Colored Rain X Power palette. It's just a giant heavy magnetic palette with lots of depotted shadows. We have this in our single shadow collection videos if you want to see this. But I just figured I'd pop in and mention because that is a lot of eyeshadow that we just forgot there. Goodbye.
Sayonara.